Hello, it's me again. Welcome to my yard. Today I'm going to be answering you guys' question again, like every year. And while I'm doing that, enjoy the scenery. How's life going, bro? Happy New Year, by the way. Yay! Happy New Year to you too. Life's going smoothly at the moment. Surprisingly? Strangely? Yeah, trying really hard to not get cooked at any cost. Are you secretly a famous producer abroad, but you're hiding here? Maybe? No, there's no way. That would be so funny though. But no. Who's the best character in your camp and why it's Rin? Sorry bro, but I'm the Disco Gang. Personality-wise, I'd say I'm more like Rin, but I like to be around people like Nadeshko more. It's the contrast I never knew I needed. Do you know the way? I don't actually, and I need some serious guidance right now. How to sleep before 1 a.m? I'd pay attention cause I'm about to blow your mind. You lay down on your bed, then you close your eyes. I know, right? Insane. But in all seriousness, one thing I've noticed is by not listening to too much high frequency sounds, I can at least, fall asleep much faster. Sometimes I would still do that, like revising my mixing decisions or just for the sake of torturing myself, which is not very good. It's pretty funny because why would you do the thing you know you should not be doing in the first place? I guess no one knows. You are one of the most talented bro when it comes to sound design and songs. Well, thank you. But I always face like a lack of energy when I design my stuff and it won't fit the mix. But for real, how do you make your sound design full and really beautiful in the mix? It depends on what clean you mean. If you're talking about the frequency spectrum being all over the place, then you just need to control it with multi-band compression, OTT or stuff like that, instead of doing some weird EQing like this. Or you can layer that one sound you're designing with other sounds that have more frequencies that your main sound lacks. If you're going that route, then keep swapping the layers, keep adding layers, then remove the ones that aren't needed. And about energy, it also depends on what energy you're after. Is it not dynamic enough? Maybe purposefully make the sound dynamic by manipulating the amplitude of the sound every now and then. Does it have enough high frequencies? High frequencies can also be considered as energy. Maybe apply more high frequency distortion instead of distorting the whole thing. I do have a tutorial about that, by the way. Utilize white noise or just noises as a high frequency layer. Those are just options, of course. And when it comes to arranging, you can always layer your sound with someone else's sound that is more polished if you're not confident yet. But really try and use your own stuff as much as possible because that's gonna shape your style in the long run. N'es-tu pas TOavn ancien collégien de Jules Verbier? No, ça c'est un pire. Yeah, I do remember. And I'm afraid to tell you that we're not going to get another version. I think that version was already DNB, but we're not getting another version. I am very sorry. Why don't you play Apex Legends or any online games anymore? Well, recently they decided to remove Linux support and apparently saw a meaningful reduction in cheating. Not that it's gonna make a whole lot of difference. I mean, sure, the cheats were very accessible on Linux and some very mentally ill people took advantage of that. But the majority of cheats are still made for Windows and the majority of the cheaters are still on Windows. So instead of working on making the anti-cheat itself better, they decided to ban a whole operating system just because they're lazy. Like, okay. Blaming a small community of people using a superior OS? Yes, it is, I don't care. Instead of actually putting the work to make the game good? Typical EA way of doing things. I am 100% sure it's gonna steadily increase back up in the next, I don't know, 3 months? It's easy, they're gonna switch back to Windows. Marvel Rivals devs, on the other hand, are very supportive to the Linux community. The game running via Proton is already a thing, but deploying a distro-specific patch fix? That's unheard of. I don't play the game, but thank you. But yeah, it is what it is, really. Maybe I am Batman, you never know. Do you have any niche music subgenre you listen to but don't necessarily talk about? Like I listen to cottagecore a lot, but you'll never hear me mention it. It's kind of a guilty pleasure thing. Not really. These days I listen to literally anything regardless of what genre it is. I don't care that much about genres anymore, when listening at least. But if I want to study the genre, I have to do some research. Sometimes I straight up do not do that and just make the thing, and it doesn't work most of the time. It's a fun process. How to actually make a basic lead? Like not that simple, but with style. If you already know how to make a basic lead, then you're already 99% there. Style is just extra spice, like the way you manipulate the pitch of the sound with vibrato, pitch bend, different note articulation, or the way you color the sound with effects. For how long did you produce music? Who's the artist which inspired you the most, and how do you do to have a very clean mixing in all your production? It's been 10 years now, if we count this year, and I wouldn't really say I have one particular artist I look up to. There's too many of them. I've been listening to Jacob Collier recently, and I'm in love. I've grown old enough to finally appreciate harmonically delicious music. He pretty much made me work more on my music theory skills. I've trained my ears to a bunch of different chords, and yeah, it's still very overwhelming, but I'm learning. Ear training's gotta be my favorite way to learn music theory. And about mixing, I wouldn't consider my mixes as clean. I mean, listen to Flow State, although I only had 10 days to finish the song, so there's that. But generally speaking, I'm still learning. But yeah, referencing also does help a lot. I really appreciate how you produce your song and how you design your sounds. Well, thank you. I want to do the same, but I don't know how. Could you tell me the step you followed? Well, let me tell you exactly how I learned the stuff I've learned. This, and a little bit of curiosity, and a lot of pain and suffering. That's really all you need. And also knowing what you want to learn. I guess you could just jump straight into it, but I guarantee you're going to be confused in no time. And also by watching a lot of very long stream VODs, you'll find a lot of these kind of stuff on the Musical Streams YouTube channel. And I also happen to live stream some of my process, so you can watch them as well if you want to. Am I like an artist you want to collab with? Right now I have my eyes on some vocalists, instrumentalists, and digital artists. I'm not gonna say who because I'm still not sure if anything is going to happen at all, but I guess only time will tell. What's your favorite DAW? Why not Ableton instead of Bitwig? To keep it short, Bitwig works very well for me. Yeah, sure, I complain about some stuff every now and then, but overall, it matches my current needs very well. Why not joining Monster Cat and stuff with all the stuff you can do? I love that question. You see, when your goals are becoming clear, you naturally put more energy into working towards them. And in my case, joining any major label isn't really part of it, Monster Cat included. Plus, it's kind of outdated. Having one of my track promoted by a big label would be nice, but joining a label? I'm not so sure. Or at the very least, if it were to happen, then it must be a label that I like a lot. You can pretty much do everything yourself nowadays, and it's not that hard. The real question is, are you willing to put in the work? Favorite 2024 album? Oh man, that's gotta be led by Ancient Light by Cone Sound. The storytelling, the composition, the sound design, everything about that album is so good. And I also listened to the audiobook, and now the whole experience feels very complete. This is what it's all about. Artists should make art that make people feel things instead of just making flashy things. I mean, that's fine too, but right now, the world needs more expressive human art. Is there any moment in your journey where you said, now I actually understand what I'm doing and where I want to go? If so, what triggered it? There was indeed a point in my life where I had a decent understanding on what I'm doing, and it was when I took a deeper look at myself. You know, when you're creating, you have to make decisions. In my case, I unconsciously make a lot of cheesy decisions with how I make music, because I guess I'm a very cheesy person. By default, that is. And it took me years to finally catch myself behaving that way. And it started like that, but ever since that day, things got a lot more deeper. It's so fascinating to learn and realize how we as individuals behave, evolve, and think. Being aware of how you initially like to approach certain situations is a great place to start exploring things that you have a hard time understanding. You can always fall back to that whenever you feel not too sure. In terms of where I want to go, I don't know. I can't think of one specific big goal that I want to reach yet. I want to explore more possibilities before settling, because right now things has gotten even more fun. It reminds me of how I got so hyped when I finally figured out how Harmor works. By slowing down the entire process, I can see so much. By trying to understand the little things, I feel like I can do so much more. It's a lovely feeling, and I want to try and embrace it at its core so that I can remind myself in the future why I'm doing this in the first place. My question for you is that what motivates you to do what you do, and do you think about where music could take you in the future? This might be the most obvious answer to that, but I just love music, man. From the process of making it to experiencing the result and everything in between. Sometimes in the past I would do it to prove a point, like I wanted to be cool or whatever. The passion was still there, but there was just that additional layer of stuff. As I grow old, I get tired of unnecessary things, and trying to prove a point in creating is one of the most exhausting things to do. Now I just want to allocate the majority of my energy into simply loving it, because how nice would it feel to do something not because you want to be acknowledged? It feels really nice, actually. And with me trying to slow things down, I'm beginning to understand most of its nuances, making me realize that it's very similar to life itself, making me appreciate life a little more. It's a magical thing to experience, and I know for most people it's the most obvious thing, but for people like me, sometimes realizing that obvious things are the way they are is mind-blowing. And about where music could take me in the future, I do have lots of clues, but I like to not think about it too much as it can really mess with my mental health. Right now, I want to focus on small goals and complete them. As your music has evolved, have you foreseen the changes in your style as they come along, or is it more of a retrospective thing? It is more of a retrospective thing, yeah. Ever since I was obsessed with wanting to try everything, I was so locked in. That's pretty much how the Adventures project was born. I never kept track of how I make decisions, and now that you ask that, I'm like, wow, that happened. One of the most satisfying feelings I've always appreciated as an artist is forgetting how I did certain things, because that means that I did too many of them, and that's nice. Knowing that you did something in your life. It's not very nice when you want to document them right after though, but yeah, ups and downs everywhere. In your opinion, what's the fundamental in sound design? It's not even my opinion since the information has already been out there for ages, but basically by just messing around with basic waveforms, with basic effects. Like, for example, what would a square wave sound like with a bandpass filter with a super high resonance? Like that? Okay? Now, what if you add a distortion after that? And there's your super basic acid sound. And maybe add a short delay. Now it has a slightly different kind of taste to it. That's just a super basic example, but really just experiment with swapping them around from the source waveform to the effect and see what comes out of it. OTT or Sound Goodizer, I use both when I'm lazy. These days I manually shape the dynamic range of each band with Maximus for extra control instead of just adding OTT for the sake of adding OTT. But yeah, it depends on the situation. Not related to music, where are you from? Madagascar. That is where I'm from. And no, I'm not talking about the movie that has penguins in it. It's an actual country. Yes, a country led by absolute clowns. Can we develop? I think you meant develop. Can we develop our own music style by just watching YouTube? Do you have a Discord server or anything similar to share and learn from each other? Just making music to sacrifice myself and I'm not a pro. It would be great if I can watch how you grow up in your music career. I mean, I'm right here. You're watching me right now. But yeah, you can in fact find your own style by just watching YouTube videos. The thing about watching YouTube tutorials is you're essentially gathering a bunch of knowledge from a bunch of people, then your job is to consolidate all of that knowledge into one single thing that only you can use, and you can make it work. The catch is, to make it work, you're gonna have to spend a long time trying a bunch of things on your own. If you're dedicated enough though, there's a high chance for you to make it work. However, you can skip all of that and find the artist that you really look up to, and if they offer one-on-one lessons or Patreons, then go with that. Obviously the catch is it costs money, but I mean, come on, that's just how the world works. My Discord server isn't really a place where things get nerdy every single time. It's just a place where people hang out and chill, share their music or sounds, share some music. Sometimes it gets nerdy, but it doesn't happen every single time. I don't know what's gonna happen in the future, but for now, that's how it is. I mainly learn from YouTube nowadays. How you structure your song and how you understand what a song needs. These days, it's so unpredictable. Like that one live stream, for example, I knew for a fact that that was not the original idea I had in my mind when I was recording the voice memo, but somehow it turned out into something else that I don't really dislike. I have two major transition variations in that song. One is me trying to make it feel the way I want it to feel, so basically a more controlled approach. And the other one is more like allowing the song to express itself, because frankly, it already has all the element it needs to be able to do that. And I went for the second one, and it turned out pretty cool. So to begin to understand what a song needs from me is first you need to decide whether it needs guidance, meaning you guide the flow of the song. This usually requires a lot of notes to be taken, or support, because some initial ideas are already more than good enough, that all you need to do is to add things that supports it and remove things that aren't. It's almost like trying to understand a person in a way, rather than trying to understand yourself. When you switched to Bitwig as an FL user, what was the best thing about it? Besides music, what hobbies do you have? As an introvert myself, I feel like you are also an introvert. Am I right? The one and obvious thing is the modulation workflow. It's easy and fast to get really complicated results, and that's cool. And the general workflow too, I guess. I like my projects organized from the start. I do not want to organize while I'm working or after I'm done working. I want it to be organized as I go. And I guess hobbies, playing really old single player games. I don't know, there's just something so relaxing about it. And yes, you're right, I am very introverted as well. Why music? And while we're at it, what's your thoughts on AI generated music? It's funny because I'm from a family that has no musical background whatsoever. It just happened to be the one thing that I really enjoy doing. Born from one question I asked myself a long time ago, can I make my own dubstep? Turns out I can. I think AI generated music can be a good thing and a bad thing. Hear me out. It's a bad thing first because obviously who would be okay with someone typing a prompt, generating something, post it online and then claim that it's theirs? Like that's just skill issue plus plus. And it's a good thing because it can be a motivator for artists to innovate. At least that's how I see it. Because as of right now, AI is getting really good at generating simpler genres like lo-fi hip-hop or, old school EDM. Unless if you just make music for fun and you're not really into posting your stuff online, if that's you, you're chilling. But if you're serious about this thing, then yeah, you need to try a little bit harder. We, in this case. Burp? Yes, burp. What's your current favorite sound design technique? Probably vocoders. I'm really trying to make the most out of simple effects these days. In the past, I'd be so against using the one effect that I think of using first. Like, for example, my first thought is to reach for a low-pass filter and then not do that. Because that would be too obvious. So trying to think outside the box every single time, making it really hard to get things done. And when it's done, it's too complicated. Now it's like, I want to reach for vocodecs? Vocodecs it is then. Don't get me wrong, vocoders are still very obvious, but who cares? Still on the slowing down mindset. Oh yeah, also peak filter before peak rush? Yum yum. All of them. Give me all of them. What's your thoughts on the... I'm not gonna lie to you, I have no idea what this is. Any plan on making more pretty songs like Healing Phase? The world needs it. Thank you for your music, Ili. Aw, thank you. I do have a plan for next year. However, it's still a very fat maybe, since it's a lot bigger than Healing Phase. It's still going to be out to the world, but I need time. I need a lot of time. What other instruments are you interested in learning to play? Man, I really want to play the piano. There's an acoustic guitar right next to me, but I really want to play the piano. Mostly because I feel like that's gonna help me a whole lot writing stuff in the DAW. I do not own a MIDI keyboard as of right now. The guitar can wait. But yeah, I want to play the piano. I really want to play the piano. Did you ever play Terraria? No, I haven't yet, but I've heard it's pretty good, so maybe I will try in the future. What's an anime you've recently seen that you really enjoy, and are you looking forward to watching any particular ones? Parkour? Parkour? And favorite chord progression? It's Blue Box. I used to watch a lot of romance anime in the past, then I took a long break because it was getting a little too samey. Then I'm starting to watch some again, and recently, man, there's been a lot of good ones. Tomo-chan is a Girl is one that I really enjoyed. It has its own thing that makes it stand out, and it's very well executed. Blue Box is also like that. It's mostly sport, but also romance, and it works so well together. It's very well written. I haven't finished it yet, but so far it's good. It's very good. And I look forward to watch the 7th season of Natsume's Book of Friends. Yuri Camp used to be my favorite one, but that might be my new favorite one. It's very raw, putting the main focus on the storytelling, which is such an old school way of doing things, but it resonates with me so much. Maybe because I'm old? It's not the most action-packed kind of anime, nor it has the fanciest animation you've ever seen in your life. It has pretty good animation. The storytelling alone is enough to get you engaged. The writing is beautiful. Season 1 originally aired in 2008, and I watched it last year. Sure, the overall production felt very old, but man, that didn't bother me at all. It's literally the storytelling. It's that good. I highly recommend it, if you want to watch it, of course. And about parkour, I don't know anymore. I haven't practiced it in a year, but I'm pretty sure I can still do very basic things. And my favorite chord progression is also your favorite chord progression, if you know what I mean. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and most importantly, thank you very much for the support on Healing Phase. It's very nice to see that people actually like it, so thank you. I have lots of stuff planned for this year, so look forward to that. The me now is going to see you next year, but the me after this moment is going to see you very soon. So yeah, bye bye for now.